Good evening. We'll call to order the Monday, April 28th, 2025 meeting of the Corte Madera Parks and Recreation Commission. Please stand and salute the flag. Just to the flag. Anyway. All right, Rebecca, will you please do roll call?
Commissioner Budeman is absent. Commissioner Koenig?
Here.
Commissioner Rose is absent. Commissioner Stoliar?
Here.
Commissioner Hitchcock is absent. Vice Chair Charlie?
Afternoon or evening.
And Chair Miles.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Before we start with the items in our agenda, we will open the time for public comment for items not in our agenda. Members of the public will be given 3 minutes apiece and can either raise a hand or email to publiccomment@cortemadera.gov. Rebecca, do we have any raised hands or email public comment?
We did not receive any emailed public comment. And I am not seeing any raised hands from online attendees.
All right, so we will close public comment at this time and move on to our first presentation, a presentation on active older adult programs by Tim Berry, Parks and Recreation Director.
Nope, we're good. This real quick. Well, good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about kind of a summary of our current active adult programming and kind of give a little teaser to the Intergenerational Center that was approved and some updates on that. So first up, we're going to kind of talk tonight about some of our classes, fitness and movement first, then of our art classes, some of our dance classes, specialty classes, our Thursday congregate lunch program with the County Marin Aging Adult Services, some special events we run, and then lastly, the Intergenerational Center, which is the hot topic right now with very much excitement going on in the community. So this is kind of a summary of kind of what classes we have during the week. You can see Monday is very busy. Watercolor and chair yoga in the morning, and then some senior fitness and bridge in the afternoon. Both of those senior fitness and bridges are free classes where watercolor and chair yoga, there is a fee for it. Tuesday, tap, pickleball, and mahjong, and we'll talk about mahjong later. It's a brand new class we just started. Actually, they're starting in May. It is Chinese mahjong. It is already actually full for the session for May, and June already has a growing list, so that's great. Wednesday, chair yoga during the day, big band dances every third Wednesday, and belly dance in the afternoon. Thursday, another packed day with bingo, following up with senior lunch, and then bridge, all three free or suggested donations for the lunch, and then pickleball in the afternoon. And then Fridays, usually when we have our AARP class offered to people who need to brush up on their driving skills. Fitness and movement classes first up, chair yoga. That's a large number, 1,504 people participate in that. That is from June 30th to March 31st. Today's class alone had almost 60 people, and it was the largest class I'd seen. We went back and got chairs 3 times. There were so many people, which is great. There's a great following for that who come every Monday, Wednesday. Monday class is a little bigger than Wednesdays, but very much a strong following for chair yoga. Pretty much the entire main hall was filled on tonight. Pickleball had about 75 people enrolled, and then fun and fitness, which is the other free exercise class, had 338 people total enrolled for that time period, which is going to butts up with right of chair yoga, so people can sometimes do both if they're already there. It gives a nice back-to-back option for fitness on Mondays. Art classes, we have a very popular watercolor teacher, Michael, who has 75 people there in the dance studio Mondays, a world-renowned watercolor instructor. He helps us a lot with our art invitational in December, has a very strong following, and people really enjoy taking his watercolor class on Mondays in the dance studio. Dance class, the two we offer, tap and belly dance. Tap a little more popular than belly dance. Both have been around quite a bit. Both did some pivoting during COVID, do some outdoor classes. Both have still been very popular. Both those classes happen in the dance studio also during the week. Specialty classes, Bridge has 431 participants. We have a very strong group on Thursdays that have been coming to us for a long time. We recently picked up a Monday group when the International Center of Corte Madera lost their location. They folded into us, and now they are on Mondays with us in the dance studio. AARP arranged about 50 people. Depends if they need their update their enrollment. And then Bingo had 567 participants, which is good. It's very interesting. We don't have the same crowd that comes for lunch and bingo. They're two different crowds. Some people say for bingo, they want to go home and don't have lunch. And it's a different crowd who wants to come for lunch, but doesn't come for bingo. It's just a different following. And I think the lunch crowd tends to go to different places during the week for the lunch. And then Mahjong, which I said is new, is going to have Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7:30. Like I said, the May class is already full and the June class is enrollment strong. Brand new teacher just came on board. Christina Martin's worked really hard to find a Mahjong teacher. And she is very much a good teacher who wants to teach the basics of Mahjong so you can learn and then go play with your friends. So that's one of her goals for her classes. Thursday Concrete lunch program with the county, 1,292 meals served. We have our regulars who come every Thursday. It's their social hour. They come and chat with our staff. They come and check in. They want to know how their day's gone, what their kids or grandkids are doing. A very core group of people. Priscilla Kelly, who's on the left photo there on the right, is a jack of all trades. She does all of our front desk registrations and also helps with senior lunch. So she checks in with everybody when they walk in, sees how their day is doing, what they're going on. And then really helps us out with the lunch program. It's really valuable to have for that day-to-day connection with the seniors that come in for lunch on Thursdays. Social events, monthly Big Bang Dance are still going on. They average about 25 to on the high 45 to 50 participants on Wednesdays. They perform the third Wednesday of the month. The other Wednesdays, they practice in the Neil Cummins music room. So they practice during the week and then perform once a month in the main hall. And enrollments goes ups and down, but really we help them with promoting their activities either online, in our newsletter, or in our guide, and then let them use the facility. And then they keep all the profits from the dances, but it's an opportunity for people to come out and dance on Wednesday nights. Kind of a rough budget breakdown. Revenue about $9,000 brought in. You'll see in expenses we spend more than we bring in, but that's pretty normal with senior programming. It's not a money-making adventure. It's a service we provide. In salary and benefits, that is just Christina, who works directly with the seniors. That does not include any time for a front office person like Priscilla helping check people in, help serve lunch, or anything else. It's just the person who's dedicated to seniors on a regular basis. About $6,000 in contract instructors to pay for them to teach the classes. About $1,300 in supplies total overall for day-to-day operations we need for senior programming. Next up, the big excitement. On April 15th, Town Manager Wolf and myself presented the update on the International Center. There were 3 items on the Town Council agenda. First one basically was to authorize Town Manager to enter into a 5-year lease agreement with One Tam Ridge LP for the Corte Madera International Center and an office for the space for Chamber of Commerce. Second was authorization for the Town Manager to enter agreement with Carla Condon, basically Age-Friendly Solutions, to assist in providing professional services to help basically develop an operation the new Corte Madera International Center. Lastly was approval agreement between the Town of Corte Madera Community Foundation as the fiscal sponsor for Age Friendly and granted the town $250,000 over the 5-year span for original operational support. First 2 were not a problem. Council was totally in favor. The third one still needed some fine tuning with the agreement. It'll come back to council eventually, but they're close. They're just not quite there yet. But basically council gave Town Manager the direction, like, go ahead and go forward. Enter these agreements. We'll get the last one figured out, and we're good to go to support the opening of the International Center. Here it is, 195 Tamla Vista Boulevard, the old Andy's Market. These are some photos from inside. You're looking at 3,100 feet total square footage, about 1,000 feet for a large classroom, about 500 feet for a small classroom, an entry lounge area, a brand new ADA bathroom installed, a small kitchen installed, and 300 square feet of chamber commerce space that Julie Kritzberg will be using. If you can see, it was kind of an old deli. There are kind of some pillars and some, looks like some kitchen areas that will all be gutted out and changed. The pillars will stay, but everything else will be changed. Here's some outside pictures. The patio furniture is not there. I'll warn everybody now. I think it can go back and the sales can go back for some nice shade. But you're looking at an outdoor patio space with 14 dedicated parking spaces. I believe 11 of those are underground in that garage area, which gives direct access to the International Center. but there are 14 dedicated spaces for the park. So we really like this space, the ability to use some indoor outdoor space and some covered parking. And it is literally, I guess, kitty corner to the DMV and Total Wine, but a space that I think we could use for some outdoor programming and some inside programming overall. This is a proposed schematic floor plan, just a plan of kind of what was presented at the council meeting. You can see in the upper right corner, the Chamber of Commerce office, a bathroom right next to it, flex space, which is literally just a space where the wall could be moved to make it a smaller room or a bigger room, an activity room 2, an activity room 1, and kind of a lobby area. Looking at this, I've already started working with Central Run Fire about like how many people could I fit in here. They kind of gave me rough estimates for activity room 2, the smaller room. Table and chairs, about 30 people is what they're thinking to sit down. The larger room, table and chairs, about 49 people, and then exercise about 15 is what they kind of rough estimates off of this. Obviously, this could change, but this is kind of like, hey, if we stuck to this, this is what it looked like. Obviously, there's quite a bit of construction to do here, some walls, an ADA bathroom, some access points, but just a proposed schematic floor plan to kind of give council an idea of what it could possibly look like for the new center. And then Supervisor Bliss and I work kind of on a program. I know it's kind of small to see on the screen. I apologize, but basically looking at activity room 1, which is your more active room, the larger room to have bigger activities. The activity room 2, would be a spot where tables kind of stay the same, just the activity would rotate. It would either rotate through bridge or mahjong or Pedro or some other kind of card game or puzzle game, but the tables would stay there so that it could just rotate through for scheduled classes. And then we would have some kind of common area space for people to come and hang out, to do a puzzle game that's ongoing, or to kind of talk about other activities that are going. Next up, the budget. So this is the draft budget that I said town manager Wolf proposed. You can see kind of what the rent would be, tenant improvements that are included in this. So park and rec time, construction materials, kind of internet, phone, just the basics of what it would kind of look like as proposed budget. This is obviously could change, but this is a rough idea of what we're looking at per year and over the life cycle of the 5-year lease. Includes the age-friendly grant, includes the donation by Rotary. There's still discussion of the Chamber of Commerce rent that hasn't quite been figured out yet, but that was presented in the plan, so I wanted to at least present this. But all things still to be figured out, but kind of a rough budget. You're looking at, 350,000 the first year, and then down to 215, and then a little increase each year to operate the center going forward. Kind of the next steps. The Town Council Ad Hoc Subcommittee will continue to meet. Council member Ravasio and Caceses will still meet with Town Manager Wolf until the center is open. You'll see in these next steps, there's a lot of moving parts with a lot of different departments. So it's going to not just take one, it's going to take an entire town to get this accomplished. Conditional use permit, which will be reviewed and processed by the Town Community Development Department, basically looking at what's going to be in there so it's approved. So for construction, what kind of activities, what kind of classes, how many people. Complete a building permit. So basically build it out the way we're going to figure out how it's all going to look. Construction, and hire the following on kind of the town end: an architect to develop the final plans to support obtaining a building permit, 2, a contractor to manage and complete the construction, and 3, an interior designer to help develop the vision, procure materials and furniture, and ensure this space comes together as planned on that end. On more the rec end, kind of next steps: execute a final contract with Carla Condon, assist in developing the operation of the Corte Madera Center. Myself, connect coordinate with site visit with fellow California Park and Rec professionals who are currently operating senior centers. I've already met with a couple. I've already toured Margaret Todd, Nevada, which is a great large center. I've also toured Healdsburg, which is a much smaller center, and also toured Petaluma to kind of see what works and what doesn't, to kind of talk about, hey, what furniture would you put in? What classes would you put in? How would you program and lay it out? Obviously, we're a smaller town, so looking at all kinds from large to small. Recruiter recreation staff members support the Corte Madera International Center. They'd be literally there every day, open to close, greet people, set stuff up, make sure there's coffee, make sure there's snacks, make sure the supplies are out, and make sure that it's a positive experience. Everybody walks in the door, everyone leaves the door. Recruit qualified instructors to teach classes, just like the same instructors who teach any of the classes at the school, the community center, reaching out and finding people who want to teach a variety of classes. We're really working with Carla to find some instructors she's currently using to fold into our classes and figure out what classes, like a bridge class, that could fold in easily to a new center. Final 2, development membership programs to figure out who's coming, who's going, just to make them feel welcome, feel part of the program. A lot of cities have golden ticket programs where basically it doesn't cost anything, but you basically still come in and feel you're a member and you feel part of the group. None of that has been decided yet of fees of idea. There's still some discussion of what we should be charged or if we should charge, still to be figured out. But right now, just some type of way to track who's coming to the door. And there's like, hey, as Commissioner Stoller will tell you, we had a senior fall last Monday or 2 Mondays ago in chair yoga. Very nice man, helped him up. He was okay. And I said, well, I want to drive you home. He goes, well, no, I'm going to walk home. I was like, no, you're not going to walk home. I said, what's your name? And he told me his name. I said, where do you live? I live here. I said, where does your daughter live? Well, she lives in Corte Madera too. I'm like, okay, well, let's call her. Oh, I don't want to call her. I'm like, well, where does she live? Well, she lives next door to me. I'm like, well, we're going to drive you home, but it's good to have that contact. Say, hey, your dad fell. He's okay. Probably shouldn't walk home by himself after exercise class. And then finally opening, hopefully in November of 2025 with the grand opening with the new Intergender Center with staffing and classes and ready to go. And those are my happy seniors. Sorry, those aren't real seniors in my programs. They were just very happy seniors in my class. I think they're a little too happy, but they're excited. So I think overall, we're very excited for this opportunity. I think it's a great program space. It is going to take a lot of work in all departments, but I think we have dedicated staff who want to see it open. And I think we're looking forward to starting that process as soon as we can.
Questions?
Absolutely.
Attic design,
Yes.
to orient myself, which side angles in Tamla Vista?
Tamla Vista is, it's facing activity, the front. Tamla Vista is the
So
front
like
there.
the Chamber of Commerce.
Is on the
Back.
in the back, right? Correct.
Oh. Totally, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, Tamla Vista.
This is towards like Trader Joe's.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good.
And that was specifically because there's a door there for Julie to come out and go as she needed to and not have to walk through classes or disturb any activities.
So the large activity space will connect to the outdoor space.
Connect to outdoor space. And actually the large outdoor space, those side walls are a lot of glass. There's a lot of natural light that comes in, which is great. It'll pose some challenge if we do a movie series. We'll figure that out, but a lot of natural light and a lot of doors for people to come and flow back and forth.
So it's sounding like, I think in the history of the Intergenerational Center, we've had lines and no lines between Parks and Rec and the Intergenerational Center. It sounds like this is a new space supported by Carla and the team that's been doing intergenerational, but under the Parks and Rec umbrella. Is that a correct understanding?
Correct. Yes, it'll be under the Park and Rec umbrella going forward, and then working with Carla and a Trendly to help program and to get people attracted.
Okay.
Et cetera. Yes.
So at some point there will be some kind of, these kinds of classes happen here, or these kinds of classes happen there, but we can kind of think about it as broad.
Correct.
I would challenge, based on what we've seen tonight, the idea of the Intergenerational Center has come to us from our seniors, but with the real intent of mixing generations. Just looking quickly at the programming and the timing of it, it is still very oriented towards seniors and would challenge, like, how do we find ways to actually have that cross purpose? So some of it needs to happen kind of outside of school hours, but things like teaching teenagers financial literacy would be a great thing to happen across. We could do like the teenagers teaching tech and AI, or Patty teach it, as we've learned. She could also do it, but finding ways to kind of push those boundaries a little bit more and kind of getting to that goal of truly mixing groups of people together, mixing the ages as best we can.
I think in the staff report, Pam basically said, I think the first step is this, and that is the next step when we are fully up and running, understand that we can cross program some of the tech stuff on days when kids are out of school, early Redwood, they're on their way there. They used to always come to Andy's Market anyway. And then possibly some of the either adult program, different programming in the evenings when the class isn't being used. We all know that the senior program is usually like a 9 to 4, 9 to 3:30 pretty much. And then we could use the space after for other things, but let's at least get this going first and then expand out.
Our Spanish language classes.
Yes. Perfect. You could sit outside and no, I'm sorry.
Yes. Go ahead.
It is a big goal of ours to have intergenerational projects going on. And in fact, I just was contacted by a student, a high school student that needs to get some volunteer hours, and she's going to help us with some projects during the summer. So I want to reach out to the Redwood students and Marin Catholic, whoever, and pick their brain about what would be appealing to them. I know when we had the makerspace, that was something, but I don't know if now they have one maybe at Redwood and it's not so special. But I definitely want input from them to see what would draw them to participate there, because it is, like you say, right on their way home. So that's one of the main things I thought was great about the location. The other thing I wanted to say about where the bathroom is, there's a door there. That door is directly to the parking garage. So you're not leaving your car in the heat, you're not walking in the rain, you're coming right into the center from the parking garage. So that's the other favorite thing I had about it.
There are 2 additional bathrooms outside that are common bathrooms, but that would just be, that's our main dedicated bathroom for the space.
And then I know my friends, they did a lot of volunteers with the Dancing with the Disabled. So they've done volunteer opportunities with the town. They would love to get involved. That's the best way to get teenagers there because, like, teenagers, like they need an incentive, but they come and they love the events that are thrown on by the town. So we can expand and have more activities geared towards the younger generations. But what I really think is going to get them to come is advertising volunteer opportunities. They will come and they'll probably really enjoy it. So I can help get that out. But as we're getting it built, just like letting it know that we've always had this kind of connection, it will get, especially Redwood students coming.
Is there a requirement?
Not at Redwood, but people like to put this up in their college applications.
And I know at one point we had talked about a community garden space in that kind of cross the street from Andy's Market sidelines.
Perfect.
So now that, as the space comes to be ours along the kind of trail between Andrew's camp and the walking path, there's just kind of space at some point, and there's water there. That's not, yeah. So I don't know, as I stimulate ideas. Okay, maybe I should have talked to Tim about it before. Getting looks. All right.
You're good.
Any other questions or comments?
I move we do.
So this says on the schematic, it says option A. Is it the one that's been settled upon, or are there others?
This was just the one that was presented to town council. It was one that we had some preliminary stuff done, like what could the space look like? Obviously, we bring in the actual people who are going to be working on it. They may change a few wall here, but that was kind of the, like right now, I think the storage in the top left, number 2 is technically a tech room that literally they have all their wire stuff in. So that's going to become storage. I think the storage in the bottom right there is literally just an empty space. But the only thing is obviously you can't move the pillars that are obviously there and dealing with the natural light. But I think that was kind of an idea of the maximize the space right now. So, but again,
Cool. All right.
work in progress.
But we're never short of space for storage. So plan for storage is a good idea.
And then really quick question about the budget. I noticed that it says the 200,000 is without the TI. So does that mean it's 157 or it would be 243 that we need?
No question off your head. I don't know a question off the top of my head.
Okay, no worries. But it might be that first budgeting figure for the first year is actually 43,000 less because that's the landlord gives you a TI credit. And then the last year budget might end up being a little bit more because the security deposit gets returned. It might even be better than this. Okay. Pretty cool.
I don't.
There may be the months of no rent payment in lieu of the TI credit. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Questions or comments? All right. Well, at that, we will move. Oh, any public comment? Screen.
I am checking for any raised hands from audience members watching online. We did not receive any emailed public comments on this item, and I am not seeing any raised hands from our online participant.
Excellent. All right. Moving on to the consent calendar. These are items that are routine or have been previously discussed and do not require any further discussion. Any member of the public is welcome to make a comment or pull an item from the consent calendar for further discussion. We'll start by asking if anyone from the commission would like to pull anything from our consent calendar for discussion. No. Anyone from the public? Not got any raised hands?
I am not seeing any raised hands, and we did not receive any emailed public comment.
And with that, we will bring it back to the commission for a possible motion. Would anyone like to move to approve the minutes of the March 24th meeting?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the meeting.
Do we have a
Second.
second? Thank you. Rebecca, can we do a vote, please?
Commissioner Bodeman is absent. Commissioner Kennick?
Yes.
Commissioner Rose is absent. Commissioner Stoliar?
Yes.
Commissioner Hitchcock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Charlie?
Yes.
And Chair Miles?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion passes.
Right. We do not have any business items this evening, so we'll move on to staff updates and commissioner reports.
Let's first start with the flashlight hunt in Larkspur. Teenagers are a challenge. Let's just put it that way. We had Nick Stone and I had it all set up, and we had quite a few kids who were volunteering, which are great. 7th and 8th graders who were volunteering. We also had quite a few 7th graders who were there to do the egg hunt. And they broke the line twice. We had them halt, and it just got darker and darker. And we broke the line once, and we got them back. Second time, it was like, oh, I couldn't. There was no way. We had one kid who was riding his e-bike with a trailer behind him and then picking up eggs and throwing him in his e-bike. We had kids who were just tackling each other and stealing each other's eggs. Everybody had a great time. Everybody was safe, but it was a lot of teenagers in one place, and they had a great time. I think next year we're talking about some glow sticks or some glow lights to kind of hold people back, and then literally just blow a big whistle and then take off. But there were quite a few people there. They did it differently. They did it on the field this year instead of in the picnic area, which was a little more spread out, which is good. And kids hunted eggs for 20, 25 minutes. They were looking. So the field went all the way down, if you know the field, to where the cricket field is, all the way down there. So they were hunting for a long time. I had a great time. So everybody had a good time. It's just holding that many teenagers back. Didn't end up in Lagoon. That was a good thing. But they had a good time. So Nick and I are kind of debriefing it all to figure out how to keep them back next year. But once you get that many 8th grade boys going, it was like I couldn't stop them. Most of them were respected. There was a large group. The opposite on Saturday, Twin Cities hunt was great. Everybody had a great time. It was very respectful. We had a ton of eggs out. It was beautiful weather, much different than last year. We had the rain, and it worked out great. We had bunny pictures on the patio, which was great. Probably a normal attendance, but went through, I believe it was 10,000 eggs on Saturday and about 6,000 eggs on Friday night. So it was a lot of eggs, and everybody had a good time. But all the compliments on thanks so much for doing this. Everybody's well behaved, no line breakers. Everybody was no pushing or shoving, which was great. And again, a great event for back-to-back egg hunts. And then Saturday, the Town of Corte Madera Volunteer Fair. I'm going to let Rebecca speak to that one because she coordinated it and did an amazing job.
Thank you to our commissioners who were there giving their time on a Saturday morning. I feel that it was a very successful event for a first year's attempt at putting together a volunteer fair. I've been soliciting feedback from participants. I didn't get any negative feedback, just constructive feedback about what we can do to make it bigger and better next year. And across the board, everyone feels that this is something that we should continue to do and share our community engagement spirit with the rest of the community who may not know of these opportunities or may suddenly feel like they have time to give and want to know their options. So I wish I had had a better way of keeping attendance or keeping track of the number of participants. So I can't really estimate how many people participated, but I saw the sign up sheets that were at each participating group, and we had about 18 to 20 participants among our community service organizations, our boards, commissions, and committees. The council, Refugia Marin was there, Marin Audubon was there, Spark was there, police were there, the NRG and the CERT groups were there, Age Friendly was there, Twin Cities Villages were there, the town band was there. So it was a wide variety of opportunities. And yeah, I can answer any questions you might have, but I think most of you were there.
It was really great. I just want to mention one more thing. If it's not on prom weekend, that's the only thing is because I solicited to lots of friends who really wanted to be there, but it was amazing. I want to say that it was really great. So I had a lot of fun. Yeah. With the Easter Bunny, it was really fun.
After I tried double listed, so gave the intergenerational update earlier, obviously moving forward with that. A couple closures right now. Town Park Skate Park is closed starting today through Wednesday. They are doing some final spray work with some artwork and then repainting a couple of the rails into the second coat. So they were actually out there today. Jason Lapp was out there enjoying the beautiful weather because he's in Palisades and they had a foot and a half of snow and he goes, I'm loving this weather instead of freezing at home. So they're doing some final painting this week. It'll be open by Wednesday for our first skateboard camp that's happening. And then Town Park's closed April 28th through May 11th. They are doing some repairs to some of the resilient surfacing in the area that need to be shut down and some curb work. So they just shut it all down to make it safe. And then they're going to get all that work done and have it open by May 11th. Last couple things. Bring your own picnic is Friday, May 30th. That is an opportunity for Alex and Pogo to promote summer camp. So they're having some games and activities put on by some of the summer staff. Families to come out, have a picnic and play some games and learn about camp and hopefully enroll in camp. So they're doing that on Friday, May 30th. I believe they're also having a DJ out there to play some music. So that is out there right outside the childcare center. Challenge of after hour activity in Town Park. I'm not sure this is kids behaving badly or parents behaving badly. We have some kids who just like to roam the park at night. We pick up kids just hanging out 10:30, 11, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're not breaking any rules besides the park's closed at 10, but just hanging out. We had a group in the skate park at 11:30 just doing nothing besides hanging out. We had a group using the bathroom at 3 a.m. Obviously, with the cameras, you see what's going on. Right now, they're not breaking any rules besides being out there past 10. We're not getting any neighbor complaints. We're not getting any type of those things. Just noticing more activity in the park at night. I think the Saturday event was actually after, the Friday was after the Flash Egg Hunt. So maybe they were bored and decided, let's go to Town Park and just hang out. So we're seeing that. The other thing we're seeing is, again, e-bikes in the park on Friday nights. Some challenge with kids just riding through and causing ruts and people talking to parents, and the parents kind of blow us off. So we've talked to PD about doing some more enforcement on Friday and Saturdays just to drive through and say, hey, be respectful, ride on the paths. Please don't wreck the grass. Please don't do the jumps and that kind of things. But there's definitely more activity and we're not even in the nice warm weather yet. But the cameras do pick up a lot of what's going on in the park at night. But thankfully, no damage to the skate park, no damage to the pickleball court, just people using them. The other thing we're seeing is portable lights. People bring out lights to skate at night or to play pickleball at night. So we just checked our ordinance and actually there's nothing against portable lights. It's just you have to be out of the park by 10. So we think that'll continue when the warm weather gets nicer. But so far, that's what we've seen, just the after hours activities in Town Park. And the last thing I have is I know we've been talking about kind of the redesign of Town Picnic Area B. So in the May meeting, the Public Works Department is going to come with a couple of conceptual ideas of what to do with that area, including the natural berm, some new trees, some new picnic tables, and some new area to redesign that for this fiscal year, this calendar, not this fiscal year. So in May, you'll get a staff report probably from Dimitri or probably from maybe Chris, an idea of what it would look like, and then kind of a price tag of what it would. Nick, sorry, Nick, thank you. What it would look like, of just an idea, so you can kind of have an idea of like, do we want to support it? What's the cost, and how do we reimagine that so that it's a nicer picnic area with the trees coming back and everything else, and then dealing with the berm area that's there to be put into that space. So you guys have some input and then get some public comment on it. So that'll be back in May for review. And that's all I have.
Tim, the town park playground being closed, that's not for addressing the
No, those are
structural issues. It's just the
those are other
surface.
things. So basically, when they first discovered the structural issues, there were also some resilient surfacing issues that needed to be replaced where it didn't pass the safety test. So those are all being changed out now in other areas besides that area.
Okay, I see.
It's different. Yeah.
And then one comment, I happened to, I was playing tennis after reserving the court online, which was wonderful. I was playing tennis the morning of the egg hunt, and we started like long before the event started. And so as we were playing, we just saw like every artery into the park, all these families. And I mean, it was so wonderful to see. And it was a beautiful day, but like people are on the pickleball courts, people are in the skate park. It was just like the moment where all the facilities are being used in a really wonderful way. And it made me really proud of the work that you're doing. So Well done.
We ended up having a kids soccer class. There was a group of free fly fishermen that practice over, I didn't know about, by the East Field. They were there that day, so it was a very busy day at the park. Supervisor Detwell took a bunch of pictures of everything going on, so it was definitely a very pretty day at the park and a very active day at the park. So
I think we can't be sad about that.
no, we cannot.
The park, yeah, the park is a buzz on all levels. Any other questions for Tim to commissioner reports? All right, I have failed the commission and have not done my homework on the town council meetings. So I do not have an update there. Are there other commissioner updates? Yes.
I've been approached by some people saying what's happening with the Tai Chi, and I know that we've been trying for a year to find a Tai Chi instructor to do in the park. But today someone asked me, could we at least have a video like we do for the exercise class? And it wouldn't fulfill the being in the parks thing, but I wonder if there's a Tai Chi video that we might consider. And the other was, I know that when we were figuring out the budget, I was pushing for getting some equipment for older people in the park. And the answer was that we would research getting equipment instead of putting the equipment in. So I don't know if we're going to form a subcommittee or what's going to happen with that, but I would like to see it move forward. Thank you.
I would, echoing Shannon's kind of, there are people all over the park, which is amazing. Like, it makes me so happy to walk in and there's like people in the skate park every day. The pickleball courts are being used. People are playing tennis again and pickleball. I'm getting tons of feedback about the West Field and how happy everyone is with how beautiful the grass is. So kudos to that. And we've been using it in all sorts of different layouts and lines, which I know is no small feat to be able to kind of flip the fields that well. So to you, Tim, and to all of our friends in Public Works. Big shout out there. Any updates from the Town Park Playground Ad Hoc Subcommittee?
I do. We actually met last Friday. So both Commissioner Budeman and Rose are not here. So we met on Friday to talk about some options. I think what we'll see is a survey to go out in May, both online and in person, to get some feedback from what people want. We will be meeting in May with hopefully the new finance director. I think we had a date when they're actually going to start to figure out capital, and that's a big capital project. We have reached out, or someone's reached out to us from one of the playground companies who offers some type of grant for a discount for using their structure. It would be a structure that kind of Novato just used or Petaluma just used, and they're tied into the California Park and Rec Society to figure out what we want to do. I think loud and clear from the playground subcommittee was we'd love to get some resilient surface and some inclusive play aspects of the playground. How do we incorporate that? So I think that's our challenge to figure out. Let's get some feedback from the community of what they want and how do we incorporate that and how do we figure out the dollar value? And if it is that we have to go and apply for a grant and put it towards it, let's do it. And I've already reached out to Novato's Park and Rec director to figure out what they went through. They actually did 2 years of the grant to get it done, but they redesigned an entire playground, not just a structure. So I've met with that company and kind of talked about what our possible options are, but look for a survey online and in person. And actually Commissioner Rose volunteered his son to do some community service hours to go out there with the clipboard and say, let's get some feedback and what kids want to see, and then put it in the survey. And then we will obviously use our staff and our kids at childcare to say, hey, what kind of playground structure would you like? What kind of elements would you like? And what kind of features would you want? And I think if we focus towards the grant, we can very much say, hey, would you like this slide or this kind of slide or this kind of structure, this kind of structure, to get some real feedback and then bring it back to you with a couple of options to move forward, obviously, for future construction. But we want to get them before they go away for summer. So that's why the May survey, to get it out, and then results probably in June, would my guess.
I have a question. Is it too late to join that ad hoc committee?
Nope, absolutely not.
Can I
I'll let you
join?
know the next meeting. Absolutely.
I want to join. I want to get involved.
And the Executive Advisory Committee did not officially meet. We're all at the volunteer fair. Any other updates? Yes.
We talked about some inclusive equipment and in planning, and I talked about Pioneer Park in Novato that has such a thing. I learned that Magical Bridge, that's in several different places throughout the Bay Area, if you look at Magical Bridge, you'll find out what they're all about, is opening in McGinnis. So there is going to be an amazing state-of-the-art kind of inclusive thing that we can check out. I don't know what their timeline is, but it's happening. Thanks.
Right. Before we close this meeting, are there any topics that commissioners would like to put on future agendas? Any new ad hoc subcommittees? All right. Oh, yes. The equipment for senior. Okay. Oh, we need it. Okay, we need to form one then. Okay. So anyone else want to participate in a ad hoc subcommittee with Patty on seniors in the park equipment?
Is this, sorry, I thought there was gonna be research first and then something we done with it?
Yeah, to do the
Okay.
research.
All right, then I'll.
Okay, thank you, Emily. So seniors in the park, exercise equipment, Patty and Emily are on it for a future meeting. All right. There's nothing else. We'll close this meeting. Thank you very much for your time and attendance and participation.